So
Oh,
Lana over there in the UK. So
oh.
you know what actually I got going on? Welcome everyone. We're live. You know what I got going on this weekend? I got something fun going on. How many of you like the sound of bagpipes?
They're
Okay.
nice.
So
Love them.
so
I
yeah,
love the sound of bagpipes.
right. So I don't know if it's something, from previous life or something, but like bagpipes just light me up. And I'm Italian, right? So I'm like, Scottish, that we're in kilts. But I love it. I love bagpipes. And so this weekend there is here in Tampa Bay, Clearwater, Dunedin, the area that I'm in, Pinellas County. They have probably the biggest Scottish Games Festival, one of the biggest anyway in the country. There's 20 different competing bagpipe and drum and fife bands coming in, and they're going to be throwing the cabers, right, and doing the feats of strength. And I'm like, sign me up, right? We'll be eating I don't know, whatever we eat, Scottish food.
Haggis.
There you go. Right. And and we could have the clan paints, I suppose. But I'm excited. And my wife's gonna miss it because she's got a business meeting in Atlanta. But I'm gonna be doing the Scottish Games this weekend with my daughter. So she's excited. We've done it once before in Phoenix, and it was awesome. I think this one might even be bigger. I don't know. There's people coming from all over Florida and the country. So anyway, welcome everyone. We're live. Welcome to our daily success call. I'm John Lavenia, and I am here with you, whether you like it or not. What were you guys talking about before I got here? I heard Eddie. Well, whenever Eddie's here, there's going to be some profound stuff being talked about.
Yeah.
So Eddie, what
Oh,
did
it
I
was
bust
simple.
in?
We were talking about Alex living in the city of Palms.
Addicts living in the city.
And I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking East Coast. He's telling me it's in Texas. Let you know
Okay.
I had a geography snafu.
Okay. Well, yeah. So okay. Well, the east coast of Texas is the Gulf of Mexico, right? So I guess, Alec, are you near the Gulf, or are you down on the Rio Grande, or where are you?
I'm down in the Rio Grande, so getting to the beach is, I mean, it's not far. It's still like a good 45 to an hour drive,
Okay.
but
So you're way south.
we are close to the beach, to Mexico. We're
Got it.
kind of in a very good spot.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So you're warm. So you're not shoveling snow. So that's good.
Well, we're
Well,
hot.
I was just north of you in San Antonio a few weeks back, and it was freezing. Coldest day of the decade or something, and I got to experience it. I think I already told you guys that story. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing. Scott, 9 degrees. That Fahrenheit or centigrade? 9 degrees for Scott.
Fahrenheit.
Okay, 9 degrees. All right.
I do live in
all
the
right.
United States, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. We got people from all over the world, so I never know what scale they're using. 83. 83 here today in Tampa Bay. Anyway, good to see you guys. We're gonna, obviously, we've got some changes which are upon us, right? So we're gonna be hearing more from Lana and less from Karen, and probably the same amount from me, whether you like it or not. I'm looking at here's something that I was looking at, kind of surveying you guys with today, if that's okay, because I don't have a topic prepared for you, which is nothing new. I never have a topic prepared for you. I just kind of jump in on whatever's going on here in the community. But I was wondering, and I think this would be good feedback from you guys. Is there anything that you want covered like on a more regular basis on here? I know whenever you got me, you've got personal development, entrepreneurship. I'm like the town philosopher here. That's what my head's into all day, every day. So that's why I don't need to prepare anything, because I've been swimming in this stuff for 35 years. But is there anything of interest or of note, not on the technical side? Scott Kelly, you've got the floor. Not technical. Don't ask me for tech support. Don't do that. But is there some direction you'd like to see these calls go in? Scott, you've got the floor.
I think it's a good question. I'm glad you are asking. I think, because me, myself, and I'm just going to go for why I like to come here, what I like to see, what I like to hear. And, to say that everything is easy it's not. And so I come here to get my positive go. It's like getting a recharge on my battery a little bit, because I know that over a weekend, we'll go a weekend and you go those 2-3 days without. And I experienced this when I was at the beginning of joining Low Hang. And, so it was that I counted on showing up every day to get that motivation, get that skill set that's so hard to come by, I think, because it is a skill set, having a continuation of motivation and where you find your own momentum, and then realizing it when you do have it that you should go with it and maybe just pay attention to your own momentum. So I don't know if that's the mountain we're climbing, that per se of getting to that top, but I still think the theme of helping one another to grow, sharing our experience in this endeavor. I do enjoy life experiences, don't get me wrong, but I still am here to come for a reason, and that's to build my business and my confidence levels in business, in entrepreneurship, to understand the changes that I'm going through, because it's really like a roller coaster. In all the years that I've been involved in being in the commission business, and it still is a roller coaster, and it's manageable, but your down times and your up times, and the thrills of going up and is fun, and the down is like horrifying. And so managing those skill sets and understanding how we use this philosophy of being a winner, so we can have a chicken dinner kind of per se is the kind of thing. So I think that's where my motivation of showing up here every day, the things that I come here for, the things I enjoy to listen, hearing other people's struggles and stuff is good. It gives us a reminder of where we are and where we started from, and the battles that we're going through. So a bear, wins battles, but a bull wins the war. So, we going to be bulls or are we going to be a bear? We can be either.
Is that a trading and investing reference?
Yeah, it's an investing reference.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because I've never heard.
So we are investing our time. We are investing in ourselves. So, we all want those bull runs. We want to go like that. We don't like going like this. And that's that roller coaster, that you can go through in business. We want this all the time, but there's going to be a lot of this too, and that's that down where there's, that influx that you have no control over. It's the time of the year. It's just the weather. It could be the circumstances of the world. It could be anything that comes along and puts you into that dive, but it's understanding that there is going to be an up. It's like somebody said, there's always going to be that calm after the storm, so, I do believe that there's always the calm after the storm when you get in a storm. So, yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Yep. That's about it for me.
That's great. Yeah, that's so essentially recharging of the batteries. Any of you seen a children's movie, which adults enjoyed as well, called Cars? It was a Disney Pixar Cars. And the star, race car character portrayed by what's his name? The guy who played Hansel in Zoolander. Funny guy. Kind of a long face, kind of crooked nose, kind of a white blonde hair. You guys know who I'm talking about? Anyway.
Yes, I do. I know, but I can't remember his name either.
That guy.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember their name.
Yeah,
So-
Ben Stiller played Zoolander, and this guy played Hansel, the male models. It was a hilarious Zoolander. Anyway, this was Cars. Right. But in that, towards the beginning of the movie, the character Lightning McQueen, the star, car, he didn't need a team. He's just going to go. He's going to win races. He's the top rookie. Blah blah blah. But by the end of the movie, he was back to winning after having major problems befall him. He got back to winning, but he did it as a team, and there were people, mentors. Right, one of the characters he got to meet was this old retired race car who knows the ways of racing. So like what Scott was just talking about, winning battles, that's fine, okay, but winning the race or the war, so to speak, if we can defer gratification a little bit and not try and go it alone and get some mentoring, that would be a really good thing. So thank you, Scott. And I don't know why the movie Cars just came up for me, but I guess us adults need to learn these lessons too. You don't have to be
Yes.
6 years old.
One of
All
my
right.
it's funny, John, you would say that because one of my good friends, I consider him a mentor because he's done something that I want to do, but I call him Tomater.
Tomater.
Yes, because like I'm kind of like his Tomater. Like he's one that like when he takes stuff super super serious, I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. Did you eat today? Do you need a hug? You know what I'm saying? Like everything's gonna be okay. And it just kind of bring it down to like super simple stuff or whatever. But so yeah, that came to mind, was very resonant to me because like I appreciate just trying to keep things simple, and that's my challenge is I try to overcomplicate and then I end up getting stuck,
Right. Owen Wilson was the actor. Owen Wilson. So yeah, thank you, Nicole. Good stuff. Here he is. So you guys can just put a face to the name. This guy. He played Lightning McQueen. Scott Barker, you've got the floor. Then we'll go to Pat and Shaquille. Hey, Scott.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Morning, everyone. I think in terms of these sessions, to me, it's like mining for gold, basically. You don't know when the nuggets are going to appear that really resonate with you and that really touch you. They can be from what's said. They can be from what's not said. They can be from a comment anyone makes. When I picked up gold nuggets from Shakir, from Shaq, from Eddie, from almost everyone. And sometimes it's, as I say, it's intentional, sometimes not. It doesn't matter because you never know where it's going to come from. Because once you set your mind on a goal, then you become like a vacuum cleaner. You'll just harvest good ideas, good information, good insights, good understandings from anything and anyone around you. And it doesn't matter. And it just, because obviously this deals with mindset, which is pivotal to the success of anyone in this business. I find this gold nuggets just fall left, right, and center. It could be a reference to a particular book, which could change your life. It could be just a particular way of phrasing something that really hits home in a way that's never hit home before in your life. And you just don't know where it's going to come from. And so you have to be open and you have to be willing to listen, and you'll be rewarded. I mean, in the same way you could read a book you read 100 times before, and suddenly, bang, you get something out of it you never got before because your mindset is geared towards a certain objective. And same thing with this. A mindset is geared towards a certain objective. So therefore, because you heard the reticular activating system, your focus is looking for things that are going to serve that end. And that's why a normal person might come to this and get a certain amount out of it. And yet someone who has a particular goal or a certain mindset will come to the same event and get something completely different out of it. Completely different.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, that person could read the same book and get something completely different out of it. And things can be very significant, very in terms of their building of the business, in terms of how they live their life. And it can be a key. It can be a little key, a little door that opens that they've never thought of before, by a simple comment or a simple word. Literally a word can do it. And it can just open a gateway to a whole area of thought and reflection that you've never thought about that can be absolutely life-changing.
Mhm.
So you've got to be like a miner, and that's what I find to be the best way, because you just never know when those gold nuggets are going to fall. That's why I try to be here all the time, because you just, it's not the gold nuggets that you intend, because your gold nuggets could be different to my gold nuggets, and it just depends on the person. But they're always falling. In your case, they're always falling. I can't help that.
Right. Well, thank you, Scott, because look, I don't know where I'm going to get the answer all the time. So I just keep showing up. And I mean, one idea, one cognition, one aha, experience can transform a person's experience of a business or, any area of life, right? But where do you get that? Great question. Look, the whole reason that I said when they asked me to come and work with this group, right? The whole reason that I even set up this forum is because I know what it's done for me in various contexts and in different businesses, and just in the field of personal development and having my life work, which for a time it didn't, right? Hence, keep showing up at meetings, keep reading the books, keep doing the personal development thing. I think it was.
I'm good. Or are you just on the call?
We're going to mute your microphone real quick. You got a background conversation going on there, but I think it was. Well, I mean, in my case, it was profound, right? So you have you don't know what you don't know, and while a lot of people come into, let's say, a business environment like this with intention on obviously money, profitability, commerce, and all the the fruit of learning new skills. The bigger question I find is not what do you do, but who's doing it? Who's doing it? Which is why Scott Barker can have completely different results than John, Pat. We got a lot of awesome people here. Arlene's here, Diana's here, Harriet's here, Jewel, right? Victoria. These are different people. Okay, so I don't know which thing is going to get you in an emotional and physiological state to take on these other skill sets, which are anybody could learn, anybody could do. Who's doing it, and to what magnitude are you doing it, and with what intent? Right, great questions. So thank you, Scott. Good stuff. We got Pat and Shaq and Stu, then Alec. Hopefully Stu's phone call will be done by the time we call on him. Hi, Pat.
Hi. Referencing Scott, the comments that Alec made, I talked about yesterday, that really changed my perspective and enabled me to do something I really thought I could not do. But going to your question about what we'd like to see more of is, I'd appreciate getting other people's comments as well as yours about separating a list of things to do from what the actual goal is. I'm reading The Power of Consistency, and they said, well, write down everything. And I have a house that 15 years ago was my dream house. My daughter, son-in-law, and my granddaughter live with me. And, we each have an office. My granddaughter had a section of the library because we didn't want her isolated when she had her computer. But we each have a place to go to, to be. I have 2 libraries. I have a craft room. I mean, I have just about everything you can imagine I had. But when I was doing my list, I was doing things like, I want to upgrade the electricity. I want to remodel the bathrooms. And it dawned on me that these are how-tos to get to a goal of I want the house, you know, modernized and a little bit easier to live in. And then when I thought about that, I thought, you know, I really don't want that because, you know, I'm coming up to 80 years old and my son's on disability. My daughter-in-law has no income, and the maintenance of the house, it costs $400 to get my lawn mowed. And, you know, all these little things, that what I really want is to move into a 3-bedroom apartment where I can have my bedroom, one room for a library, and one room for an office. You know, I don't want this house anymore. And that was a real eye opener. And, you know, I'd like to hear how, you know, some other people go through this process of defining a goal as opposed to a want.
Okay, well, I can help you with that, but it was just for my own edification. It was $400 per cutting of the lawn.
It is, but it's a very, very large lawn.
Well, I would imagine.
And
right?
it has
Maybe
a
you're
lot
getting
of,
badly ripped off. I don't know. I just
No,
fired
I
the
don't
guy who
think
was
so,
charging me
because
150.
I have a lot of areas that are trees that are close together that have to be gone through. And he takes care of branches that need to be trimmed and, you know, goes around the garden areas. You know, he does a lot of things other than just mow the grass. And,
Okay,
you know,
still
so,
$400 per event is substantial. Must be quite a property, but it sounds like a plantation or something. So
it is.
okay, got it. So as far as the difference between wants and goals. So goals, and we've covered this before, guys, but it's worth covering again, just in brief. Okay, one of the things you could do to qualify something that you intend to accomplish as an actual goal is the SMART formula. Some of you are familiar with this. I'll go through this really, really briefly, and then we're going to hear from Shaq and Stu and Alec. So SMART, acronym SMART. S for specific. So specifically, what is it that we're going to accomplish, that we're going to experience? Don't be vague, right? Be specific. That's S. M for measurable. So what does it cost? That's a good question, right? Or in the case of something that's not like financially oriented, like a weight loss goal or something, you're quantifying, you know, the weight loss, right? So that's something quantifiable, measurable. Specific, measurable. A for achievable. Well, has anybody else ever done this? Are you the first person on planet Earth to do this? No, you're not. Okay. Well, then let's look for evidence and other people's demonstrations of having accomplished the same or similar thing. Okay. So that's achievable. R is for relevant. Some people say R for realistic. No, wrong. R for relevant. This is probably the most important part. If you miss this part, you lose, okay? So there's an emotional involvement. There's a reason you desire this thing, right? That's the relevance of it. There's an old saying, logical salespeople have skinny kids, all right? So this isn't about logic. This is about emotion, all right? So what does it feel like for you to accomplish this specific, measurable, achievable thing, all right? What is that experience like? And if you can, and you can, crystallize that, you know, into the specifics and actually feel yourself having already accomplished it, that will reveal the emotional state of having accomplished it. All right, so that's the relevance piece. And then T for time. So work expands to fill the time allowed for it, right? And a lot of times people give themselves too much time to accomplish whatever they think they could accomplish because, well, first of all, they're not even sure if they can accomplish it. So they missed out on the achievable part. But also, if we're basing our expectations on what we did yesterday or didn't do yesterday, well, does yesterday actually set a precedent on what you can accomplish tomorrow? It doesn't, unless you keep dragging yesterday into today, hoping to create a better tomorrow. Good luck with that, right? So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So now you could say, I have a goal. just based on that formula. Okay, Pat, I hope that, ticks a couple boxes for you.
I think I maybe wasn't clear, because I could do, and I have done it with the electricity,
Okay.
specific. I need certain rooms upgraded, measurable. I'll know when they're done, and all those things, and it's a goal. But as I gave the example of all those little goals I have for the house, I haven't zoned in on the want. What's making all these goals, little goals, steps? What is it I'm really after?
Okay, so the
and
updated house, you already mentioned it, the modernized, updated house.
Right.
Here are all the to-dos, here are all the action steps to accomplishing that. And so if that's a learning thing where you yourself are going to go play electrician or something, oh, okay, then you need to learn some stuff. Or if it's just, I need to go earn this amount of money, that's measurable, to accomplish this portion of the modern updated house. Well, okay, we'll add that to, the bigger goal, but the experience is the modern updated house with the electric, the plumbing, the this, to that, right? So, but yeah, and you know what, Pat and everyone, you can do piecemeal stuff too. Look, I just bought this house. It's almost 50 years old. I've been gutting the garage. A lot of the house is updated. It's beautiful. It's very nice. They put a lot of work into it. But the garage was a freaking wreck. A wreck. All right. So I'm thinking, and this is my project. I'm gonna do this, right? And you guys should see it now. It's gorgeous. The floor remains. I gotta get the floor scraped and epoxied, and I'm probably gonna do that too, just because I'm into doing objective projects. Okay. And it's like therapeutic for me. Like I like to see before and after. I'm the guy who likes to go out and, polish the chrome on my Harley, because that's gratifying to me. And I don't have to think so much. It's a break from thinking, right? So ripping wood off the wall and patching stucco and priming and painting and all that, that's therapeutic for me. That's fun. All right. You guys are probably thinking, my goodness, John, your life is boring. That's fun for you, huh? That's fun. You can think whatever you want. Okay. But it's a reprieve from the subjectivity of my work. Now, if I was a workaday, painter and remodeling guy or something, I hate that. I'm not doing my own garage. There's the phenomenon of the mechanic whose car is broke down all the time. He fixes everybody else's stuff. He doesn't want to touch his own. Like, I'm so done with fixing stuff right now. Right. So I'm blessed with, with the ability of having objective work as a reprieve rather than a daily grind. So anyway, thank you, guys. Wow, we're already at a half hour. Shaquille, then Stu, and then Alex. Shaquille, you've had your hand up for a while. Hey, brother.
Yes, I have, man. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of answer your question since you were asking us for a topic, but it looks like we got our topic, and that's kind of what I wanted to say. It was like, that there is a ton of power in anecdotal experiences, or when people give their stories, and that kind of touches on what Scott was saying, was that you don't exactly know where the gold is going to come from, but it sort of just pops out as we ramble on. But what I wanted to say was that I think that each of us here is most likely the most driven person in our group of people, and that's probably why we're each on this meeting here. And with that being said, with John as our curator and as our sort of like teacher or like sensei here, all of us want to be like you, John, to an extent, like as far as business and success. So I think as many stories as you can tell us about how you basically like win, I think that would be helpful. Or stories of other people that or that you work with. Me personally, I'm really interested in like the marketing end of it. I'm really trying to figure out that. So if there's anything on marketing that you can give, or on being a leader in specific because you're you're a leader of many teams and mastermind groups and companies and things like that. And, and so if you could just, whatever game that you can give us would be greatly appreciated, whatever stories. And I mean, you kind of do that anyway. And that kind of reminds me of a last quote here is that, because we have people constantly joining us and stuff like that, a thing that I just want to tell you, John, is that like, don't worry about telling new people new stuff. Like, or old people like new stuff. Like I think repetition is it's the mother of skill. And the more that you kind of tell us the same stuff over and over again, like I feel like I can, teach a class on it, and like that helps as well. So yeah, yeah.
Well,
tell people old stuff or stories or whatever you're talking about marketing and winning.
Yeah, Shaq, facts tell, stories sell, right? So you're talking about anecdote and life experiences from other experiences I've had, maybe you haven't, right? And so where does innovation come from? Do you guys know where the drive-through fast food window came from? Like, who came up with that idea? It was this guy who was running a fast food franchise. And he goes to the bank to deposit the cash and whatever. And it was the bank teller, the come up to the window, the bank teller, right? There was no such thing as drive-through fast food. And this guy got an idea. Holy crap. These people don't even have to get out of their car. We'll hand them the food right through the window. Bam. Now try finding a fast food place that doesn't have a drive-through window. So other industries can inform and instruct here. So I would say, yeah, grab all the nuggets you can from seemingly unrelated stuff, because there's an idea, right? And then you fly to the top on some idea that nobody else had put that combination together. Because look, all truth already is, right? All we're doing is rearranging, different parts, right? But it's already there. So how can you arrange that in a way that no one's quite done it exactly that way before? This is why the market can't be saturated, right? Because you've got a unique approach and you've got people who are interested in different stuff every day. So have fun with this, right? But I'll take all the ideas I can get. Thank you, Scott, or Shaq. And Scott's calling me Yoda. So yes, wisdom much you find here, you. So there's my Yoda. Stu, and then Alec. Hey, Stu, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. I had to mute you before.
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I've got doctors calling me. I just got out of the freaking hospital.
Again?
Again, yeah. This time, they think I had a TIA, mini stroke. Anyways, I'm back and I'm raring to go. The other time was a hernia. So that's 2 hospital stays in 1 month. So anyways, so I'm getting some ideas from listening to you guys yak here. And you led off, John, with what's your ideas for, what the heck was it? What we would like to hear more of or get into.
Yeah. And one of them why do you show up here and what do you want to happen? Yeah,
that's it. So I was thinking of marketing ideas because, we're all basically marketers, right? And I was thinking, so for one thing, I know I'm Christmas shopping this year on my Etsy store, right? And I'm going to send people, and anybody I send something to, I'm going to send them with a discount coupon, right? Go visit my shop. And I'm going to be doing that prior to Christmas as well. But I thought that might be an idea. And I imagine, John, in your history here of being in business, you've done some B2B stuff, right?
A bit, not much. A bit.
Okay, well, I'm thinking B2B is all about selling and providing a solution for perhaps a need or introducing them. But something that came to me while I was in the hospital was how long am I going to be on this mortal plane? And I realized this business we're all in this can be a legacy for the people we leave behind. Our kids can take this over. I'm sure of it, right? I don't think Rachel would have a problem with it. And I think, you know, the better we build it, the more solid a foundation to be if we were handing it down. So just a couple things, random thoughts that popped into my head listening to you guys.
That's very significant. First of all, Rachel has no say in what you do with your business.
No, I
she's
know.
not your business partner. But
Yeah.
secondly, if you're thinking, and I think this is the primary idea, if you're thinking about something that that could be a legacy, you know, business or something that you could then bring others in the family into, that just redoubled your how purposeful this actually is for you. I mean, it's one thing for you to make a buck, you know, in 2022. Fine, nice, whatever. Okay, but to what end, right? Like, can you see further down the trail here? And it sounds like you are seeing that, Stu. And sometimes it does take, you know, confronting mortality, right? Suddenly you got less time to Q&A and, you know, BS, right? Now we got to get stuff done. So that's transformational, right? By the way, we're glad you're here. You survived whatever that was. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. Good. Wow. Interesting talk today, huh, guys? We got Alec and then Eddie, and then we're going to have to wrap up because I got meetings I got to run to. Hey, Alec.
How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
Well, first off, I'd like to just real quick give a little shout out to Pat and thank her very much for mentioning me for 2 days in a row. And she I give her much applaud for actually going out there and doing whatever it is that she said that she wanted to do. Like when it came to her mobility and everything. You had mentioned the word smart and being specific, it being measurable, achievable. And specific, that has always been known. Measurable and achievable, I lost track of a very long time ago. I really did. I really just stopped. I kept the specifics of what it was that I was going after.
Mm-hmm.
But I never did anything to actually go after it. I mean, I knew that it was measurable. I knew that it was achievable, but I never did anything to ever make that measurable and to ever make that achievable. It was just, it was a thought in my head, and a thought in your head is just a thought in your head. That's all it ever really is. And I attend these groups because, believe it or not, they have helped me out so much more. Just hearing different people's stories, and like Scott Kelly was saying, I mean, you know, sometimes he does feel that listening to other people's problems and everything does kind of help him to at least, I mean, okay, so what I wanted to do was start a production company. I've wanted to do that since I can remember. Certain things happened in my life, so instead of doing what I actually wanted to do, I took other people's problems and then I turned them into my own. And in a way, I can say that, you know, that is very bad or whatever. At the same time, I did also feel for the longest time that I needed to do that. Now, that does confuse a lot of people because they're like, oh, well, you didn't have to do that. And it's like, yeah, but at least now I can say that I did that. at least now I can say that, yeah, I had that struggle. I had that hard time. I dealt with it. I didn't take somebody else's story and, mold it into a make-believe story. What I did was I took that story and I made it my story. Now, in making it my story, I'm in the process now of turning that story around. And see, that's, I know a lot of people, I've heard it from almost everybody that I talk to. They're like, oh no, but you didn't have to do that. Like, yes, I did. I had to do that because you didn't want to. Because I do strongly feel that a lot of times people might have gotten scared of doing stuff. And I had a counselor one time, and she came out and she asked me, she was like, okay, so what is it that you want to do? And I was like, okay, well, I would really like to help people. And she was like, oh, you can't help anybody now. And I was like, can I? Like, why can't I help anybody now? And she was like, oh, well, look at your situation. And I was like, yeah, but doesn't that mean that I know more than you do? And she was like, oh, no, well, I went to school for this and I did this and I did that. And I was like, okay, so your education automatically means that you know more than me. Because as far as I'm concerned, you read everything out of a book. Doesn't mean that you know anything of what it really is. I was like, now
let that meeting go over, Alec. That sounds great. Scott's laughing. Is that you, Scott? I hear a little chuckle in the background. Sounds like Scott.
And that's fine, because most people usually, like I said, most people usually do. And this woman, she would do the same thing. She would laugh and she would say, hey, well, you are, I read this out of a book. That's what it is. And I was like, yeah. And you read it out of a book.
Okay. Well, I don't mean to cut you off. We're running out of time, but Alec, this is very revealing about, some of your past. And look, if you're wondering if you can help people or not, if that's still like a question for you, you heard Pat gushing about, something that she got from you just yesterday.
And so, Pat, I give it up to Pat. Thank you very much, Pat. And please pass it on.
There you go. Good times. Thank you, Alec. Let's wrap up with the Reverend Eddie Smalls. Eddie, final word to you, sir. Eddie, he just muted himself. He's been unmuted the entire call.
All right. Anyway, I know times are there since I was listening to Pat, and I'm just gonna say this to you, Pat. You said what you wanted. You want to downsize your living arrangements. The universe is listening to you, so that's a start for you. Why not go in that direction? Because evidently something involved in that is going to give you whatever else it is you need. Because you voiced that so loudly. All the universe wants to know is what you want. And this last thing I want to say, when I do that smart thing, I've read that so many times, and the part about achievable always bothers me, because you don't worry about whether or not it's achievable. Just go do it. Everything, we live in a place where everybody's always achieving something. Come on, the 4-minute mile. Doctor said that was anatomically impossible. So don't worry about whether or not you achieve it. Why do you want to do whatever it is you want to do? This business. What do you want to get out of this business? I heard somebody talking about legacy. There you go. Leave something behind. That's a reason. That's all the universe wants to know. What do you want and why do you want it? And I give you the rest. So that's basically what I'm talking about here is this business has been handed to us. You come here to get your batteries recharged, just like you put in your phone. You can't call anybody if your battery is dead. So recharge your battery regular, get on there and dial up whatever you need and start talking. And get in there because this is life is wonderful and it's as wonderful as you allow it to be. Allow it to be great and it will be. That's the best I can tell it to you. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your John. You're always exciting. And let's go ahead and do it again another time.
Sounds good. Thank you, Eddie. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
All right, so the consensus is that we're on the right track with this. And by the way, guys, this is kind of like a light entree into like some of the stuff I do every day, right? With my mastermind group and everything. You guys can seek that out on your own if you want. I'm not here to promote that to you, but I can tell you that if I wasn't engaged in consistently engaged in the conversation of success, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you now. So consider that. I'll be back here with you tomorrow. How's that sound? Can I join you guys tomorrow? Is that okay? Yeah, thank you. I see a thumbs up from Dora. Thank you, Dora. And anyway, you guys go kick ass in life because you so deserve to. All right, and let's learn some stuff. Let's produce, and let's feel good about it. And know you can. Know that you can. You're very